good evening, everyone. We just want to say thank you all for tuning in this evening. We want to say we love you all. We appreciate you guys tuning in this evening. We have another lovely couple this evening that is going to be on with us, and we are so glad and happy to have them on this evening. Um, we're praying that God does something big and miraculously. I don't know why I be choosing those big words.
That you can't say.
I be eating them. I don't know why I be doing that. I do that to myself. But y'all look over me as we get ready to start this evening. I'm gonna go ahead with further ado. I'm gonna bring our guests in this evening. All right, all right. Hey, what's going on, family?
Hey.
Hey yo.
All right. It is the Jacksons. The Jacksons are on with us this evening. I said that right, correct?
Yes.
All right, good. All right. So before we get started this evening, I'm gonna have a quick word of prayer. Actually, I'm gonna call my wife. I did it last night. You can start it. Oh yeah, okay, all right. Her voice is on. Okay. Well, we're gonna have a quick word of prayer and we're gonna go ahead and jump into everything this evening, all right? All right, dear Heavenly Father, we just want to say thank you for allowing us to see this day. Thank you for allowing our couple to the Jacksons to be able to come on and help someone else in their marriage, in their quest to relationship, whatever it may be. We just pray that whatever is said and whatever goes on this evening comes directly from you. So we ask that you remove us and replace us with you. That way, you get all the glory and honor and praise, which is due. It is in your name, Jesus. I do pray. Hallelujah. Amen. All right. So if y'all didn't know by now, y'all didn't see the flyer who we was talking to. We talking to I always mess your name up. I'm horrible with names.
He is terrible with names.
So how do you say, you know what? I'm gonna let y'all introduce yourselves and then all right, so y'all introduce yourselves and then after y'all introduce yourselves, just tell us briefly about who you guys are.
My name is Kobe Jackson. This is my wife, Sierra Jackson, formerly known as Kendrick. I'm originally from Southern California. Came out here, 17 years ago. Before my first son was born. And subsequently went through life changes and got more direct with what I wanted, and I was blessed with Sierra after meeting Dr. Do I get to say her name? Mom Beryl New.
Yeah, that's Mama New right there.
And I thought Sierra was just gonna teach my children how to sing and play the piano, and they had different ideas after they met her. So fast forward 7 years now
together. Yeah.
We met Mr. David. He was a part of that process, teaching the youngest son to play drums.
Oh wow!
And you got to observe something, and done getting nosy with our business, I guess.
That's the whole point.
Well, he shared it all. I don't know that I have much else to say. I don't know who I was watching, but most people probably already know me. Born and raised in Topeka, Kansas, and I mean, he kind of told our story, so the Lord blessed me with him. Definitely unexpected, but one of the greatest blessings of my life. So happy to be able to share and hopefully help somebody else.
Tell about your project.
Go ahead.
Tell about your project. You have a project.
Oh Lord. Yes, I'm a recording artist, gospel recording artist. Released my first EP this past February. and Mr. David was gracious enough to play the drums for me at my
Yes.
CD release party. Excellent,
Yes.
excellent. The musicians were great, so it was a great experience. So thank you guys for your support and being there. Yeah, it's available on iTunes, Spotify. You can listen on YouTube. I have hard copies for purchase if you would like to purchase.
That's amazing.
Long
That's
time.
amazing.
A long time.
So, like, of course, you guys know we can do the benediction right now. Dear Heavenly Father, we just... No. But that is amazing. And I didn't know that I played a part in that. Like, you know, I did so much when I lived in Topeka that like it's hard for me to kind of like remember everything and all the people that I helped along the way. And so I'm so godly excited that I played a part in you guys getting married and all of that. Like that's like awesome to me. Like I'm thankful to God for that. So go ahead.
Well, I want to say, how long have you guys been married?
Oh, 3 years. Just past 3 years, September 28th.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
all right, so we dated for we dated for a year, and then after a year we got married, and we've been actually married for 3 years, and it'll be 4 years in January the 30th.
I was about to say, you better get away. I do like this.
Wow.
So y'all got married before us then.
Yeah. Which was so crazy is because we all right. So when I was looking for marriage, I automatically knew what I wanted in a wife. I had prayed and asked God everything that I wanted in a wife. She had to be X, Y, and Z, and this, and that, and have all of that, this, and that. And so when I came across, I'll just go ahead and put it like this. So how we met through Facebook. And a lot of people don't know that, but when we met, it was so crazy because I wasn't expecting it. Just like Kobe said, he wasn't expecting it. I wasn't expecting to find my wife through Facebook.
And I wasn't going to find my husband through Facebook because I went against everything I told my daughter not to do.
Right.
Yeah.
So my question to you guys, outside of like, all right, so how did y'all for real really meet? Like, did y'all meet in the church or did y'all meet like
at the
grocery store? You know, was she singing one somewhere and you happen to be in a church and you're like, hallelujah, that's my wife.
Well, I had been going to a ministry here in town that was pretty popular. I grew up Adventist.
Okay.
And my spiritual walk was progressing. And the dogma, the excuse me, the exclusivity that takes place, and I'm sure several denominations, was completely unattractive to me, along with the oppression and oppression that went directly against American natives, American blacks. It was just completely unattractive. And I wanted something that was outside of that. And Mom knew. She took me under her wing. She calls me her son. And she said, well, why don't you come on to church? And that was the summer of 2014. I made the switch and started coming over to Faith Temple. And it was nice. It was, less pomp and circumstance. And they were real. It was people that were real there. And I forget, you guys had a service in a multi-purpose room. Mm-hmm. And I already talked to Mom New. I said this, I already wrote out a list. I was more specific because I wasn't specific enough the first time, apparently. Mm-hmm. And these kids were getting older. I wanted to have a nice household for them. And they had church in the multi-purpose room, the same multi-purpose room that the EP was released.
Mhm.
And there's this woman sitting, natural hair, um, creative dress, and just blowing the voice. I mean, when you hear Sierra's voice,
Beautiful.
she don't need a microphone. Number one, and she doesn't need a EQ or anything, and it's just powerful and calming all at the same time. And I didn't think nothing, and I ended up sitting up in front, and I'm a bachelor with 3 kids, and eyes are on me, right? And I'm 6'4", 350 pounds at the time, 40 pounds at the time. So I'm not little.
Mhm.
And I got some beautiful children. And I know eyes are on me, and I'm picky, and I'm extremely defensive. And so this was Sunday. The very next day, I ran into Mom New in the halls at Highland Park, and she said, "You know what? What do you think about Sierra?" And I said, "Who's Sierra?" She goes, "She was the one on the keyboards yesterday." And I said, "You know what? You're right. I was thinking about asking her to give my kids lessons for piano and learn how to read music." I said, "I think you got it confused." And so the next week, I stayed a little bit, lingered a little bit in the congregation and the pews afterwards, and walked up to Sierra and said, "I'd like to get your number to teach my kids how to play the piano." And then Lady Lasser comes up right behind and says, "All right, let's get it together. I got a ready-made family already." And I was like, no. It's just piano lessons.
I'm tickled.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm completely guarded.
There was some good piano lessons, man.
We never even got to them. I mean, I went home. I labeled all the keys on the keyboard. I said, I want to get into this as soon as possible. I want her to know I'm serious. And I can't remember what happened. I think Mom, after Lady Lasser came, Mom came and said, no, it's not lessons. And so I think I invited her over in a week or two on a Saturday when I had my kids, and I introduced them. And did we go out or get something to eat?
We went out to eat. It was after that.
Yeah. And so, anyway, during the time that my kids were here, my daughter, and I told my daughter when she was 3 or 4 years old, Daddy's not getting married again. And if I do, it's only if you approve.
Oh.
So here comes my daughter, Ciela. After meeting Sierra, and says, "Daddy, when are you guys getting married?" All out loud. Didn't pull me aside. Didn't wait for a moment alone. And I looked at Sierra, and I was like, "No, I'm still convinced in my mind that this is completely less. I'm David. You understand? I'm not even on that on male. You know, I'm not down low and nothing. I'm not. Was I?
No.
And I was like, I had to turn the switch on. I asked her out on a date and said maybe they're right. And I mean, I had goofy clothes still too. I had holes in my shoes trying to go out on a date. you know, they were good enough clothes for work, not good enough clothes to go out on a date. And so through all of that, you know, we were both going through some stuff, coming out of some stuff, past relationships, just past traumas, and wow, it was 2 or 3 year process to get to where we were 3 years ago. So, and you know, help along the way, people coming in and just speaking in, you know, we're on the right. It's nice to be validated that your vision is valid. And so you, David, coming in and giving my son those lessons was just reinforcement, like validation. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. And even though it didn't happen as frequently as we wanted it to, it was important. My son talked about that recently. So yeah, that's a little bit of the story, a little bit of the takeoff.
All right, Sierra, your turn.
Right? Look, from my perspective, no, yeah, Dr. New she had kind of adopted both of us. And the same Sunday he was talking about when he came in, I just remember seeing this tall, dark, and handsome man walk in while I'm up there singing praise and worship. And I was like, oh, he's handsome. And that was the only thought I had. And then I moved on. And like he was saying, the next week after he approached me about the piano lessons, I still was clueless. Like, you know, okay, I'm gonna get piano lessons. People ask me this all the time. So I'm like, oh, okay, it's just another person asking for piano lessons.
Because she wasn't there when Lady Lassiter came up and said,
yeah, I wasn't even, this is the first time in my life that I've ever been like oblivious to anybody showing any interest as far as relationship, because I just wasn't in that
I wasn't showing
mindset. So Dr. New, afterwards, I always go tell her bye after church. And so I approached her and was like, oh, bye, Mom. And she was like, she's like, and to know Dr. New knows that if she says something, you know the Lord is speaking to her, and you know she ain't gonna tell you no lie. And so she's like, yeah, I'm trying to hook you up with Kobe Jackson. I was like, who is Kobe? Literally. He was like, you know, the tall man, he had the 3 kids. I was like, oh yeah. I said, well, he already asked me about the piano lessons. So I'm still like, she must be talking about him asking me about piano lessons. She was like, that's not what I'm talking about. I was like, what are you talking about? She's like, well, I don't normally do this. She was like, but I think there's something there. I think you guys will make a great couple. And I was like, Mom, what? So I said, well, all right. I said, well, he's got my phone number, and left it at that. And he waited a week or 2 to call. And I remember him calling, and I had these little butterflies for whatever reason, because I didn't know him. We hadn't had a conversation, didn't know anything about him, really. So that was kind of the beginning of our journey. And then meeting the kids was a big deal. And they immediately were like playing with me. I remember Simeon trying to wrestle with me the first day. So there was that just instant connection. And
okay.
So yeah, lots of bumps in the road. Like he was saying, life, both of us being previously married, coming out of relationships, coming out of all kinds of things, just on a journey mentally, spiritually, emotionally. So I didn't necessarily believe that I was ready to be anybody's wife again, but you know, God always has other plans. So
all right.
So what made you say I do?
Oh, this is after healing. This is 2014.
Oh, okay. So y'all were dating for how long?
On and off and on. Or so that's 2014 till we got married in 2019. So
okay.
Yeah. So that was all right. Yeah, I remember that period of time. Like that period of time was rough for all of us, including my wife. So all right. So my question is, blended family because you guys are a blended family, correct?
Yes.
All right. So, how does that work? How were you guys able to like mush that all together and everybody come together and sing Kumbaya? Because I know it was hectic.
It was extremely important for me because my kids, without getting into detail, their mother is in a tight-knit family, but on the negative. You know, the kind that breeds narcissism, enmeshment, a lot of secrets, for all the wrong reasons. And so I wanted to live my life out in the open. I wanted to have, when they help them develop a voice so that they could then be able to navigate this world confidently and intelligently, and at the same time spiritually have confidence in what they're feeling because of their past experiences. You know, being able to be honest. Oh yeah, this is that. This is this, and you need to watch out for this, this, and this, because this is where this comes from. So when I met Sierra, one of the things that I had on my list was honest, being able to be honest. And you know, there's a formula. You know, what you see and what you don't say is usually what is going to get you in trouble and keep you in trouble. And so being upfront and honest, and demanding that from my children, and then modeling that so that you know, even if it wasn't there, we would develop that. And so when Sierra and I met, I was upfront and honest, you know, especially about the children. There was a lot of treachery taking place at the time, in and out of court. The children would come home to me and be saying things, and I, you know, things that I had to sit back and just absorb because they were about me. Negative things about me just simply couldn't exist. You know, I couldn't be free with some of the things that were being said about me. So, and then having Sierra absorb that, meeting her family and knowing where she had come from, and then saying, oh, well, she needs this because this is, I've provided a safe place for my kids, and in turn it ends up being a safe place for her.
Wow.
Being able, you know, being mature enough and just, you know, spiritually mature enough to say, this is what is right, because even if, you know, there's nobody there to support, you know, people don't understand, you know, Kobe, you don't say those things. Kobe, you don't allow those things to happen. You know, people who don't want to deal with the elephant in the room, let alone that it's pink. You know, I try not to have that in my life. I'm going to say it even if it's awkward. Mm-hmm. And so I don't know if I answered your question, but
well, no, you said something that was very key in that. And you said honesty. Yeah. And with honesty, you were able to build a relationship, a safe haven for not only just you and your kids, but Sierra. And I saw Heaven peep her little head out in the background.
She was in the middle of y'all like.
So you created something spiritually for you and your family, and that's beautiful. It's a beautiful thing to see where you guys came from to where you guys are now, and it's kind of how we were, because the honesty thing, we threw everything out on the table when we first met each other. We was like, okay, all right, I got stinky feet, I snore, I do this X, Y, and Z. And so when so when those things happen, and I'll be real with you, I'll be transparent, a lot of what happened with us when we first met, people always try to bring up my past.
Yes, they did not want me.
They didn't want us to date. They didn't want us to get married. They didn't want us to be together at all.
Yeah.
I had relatives come up to her and tell her, "Are you sure this is who you want to be with? I just think you could do better."
And then people telling him he can do better.
Like, and so
to separate us.
It was crazy. And so, my question to you guys, how did you guys build each other as far as the pain wise? Sierra, how did you help Kobe get through those tough moments?
Wow. A lot of prayer, a lot of the honesty piece. He had that was foreign to me coming into a relationship. So it was kind of difficult for me navigating and finding my place with the kids, with the family. But really it's just, it may not be having something to say, my presence alone, and allowing him to be honest and becoming a safe place for him as well to let it all out. He has no issue really being honest. Sometimes it was definitely hard to take on or hear, but learning how to respond, when to respond, I think is definitely key in moments like that. I think we both help each other. He definitely helped me through a lot of dark places that I didn't think anybody would sit with me through. So it's been definitely a journey, but yeah.
So you just said something about dark places.
Yeah.
So what comes to mind is, what do you do when you're both in a dark place? Because we like being, and this is just us being transparent, throwing this out. So when we first moved here to Arizona, nothing was in place. No house. We was struggling. We was like, all right. It even got to a point to where we was like, okay, all right, forget it. We about to move back to Kansas. And I was like, nah. Nah, God didn't bring us this far for us to be like, okay, we back. No. So in that dark place, have you guys ever found you guys so like, okay, prayer just ain't working. Like, it's just, I done prayed, I done cried, and then, what's the next step? What did you think the next step was? Because,
well, for one, I do prayer does work. It's just that we wanted to move ahead of prayer. And so, you can't move faster than God. That's the way I look at it. You can't move faster than And so we wanted to move. We was like, Lord, do you hear me? You said you never leave. We was throwing his word back. You said you never leave us nor forsake us, Jesus. You said that whatever I ask in your name, you're going to give it to us, Lord. We was saying this back, reading his word back to him. But he also said, I may not come when you want me, but I'm on time. So you just got to be patient, Mary, David. You got to be patient, and you have to wait. You got to wait on the Lord. And so we was like praying, and my husband just one day out of the blue, we're driving, and he scared me because he was like, devil, you have no power. He just went in and he was just going on and on. And I'm like, and he went into a battle prayer. And at that moment, things broke because I look at that. I looked at it. The way I looked at it was, okay, he's the head now, because where I used to pray and go throw oil all over the house and go anoint my kids in the middle of the night and all that stuff, he had to do it. He had to come from him first because he's the head. I was doing it. I was praying and asking God, but I was weak. And when I was weak, that's where he was strong. And he got tired. He's the devil, you alive.
Mhm. So, the question was,
I'm sorry, I got off of it. I get
No.
excited, huh?
no, what has been you guys' biggest challenge bringing everything together?
Yes.
I would say it's been the past, the trauma in the past, childhood trauma, um, that has crept, and the relationships from it that crept into adulthood, and um, um, my my divorce and custody battle with my ex-wife. Um, Growing up, being a so-called black male in the United States, um, and having to navigate through the legalities of that. Um, it's truly wow. You open up your eyes, and when the old heads, when the wise people talk, you understand what they're not saying and what is the obstacle or the obstacles after you've gone through some things. And what got us through was definitely praying mothers, and I got more mothers now than I I don't even know who they are. My mom tells me all the time. I was on the phone with my mom last night, and she's saying you got people all over the world praying for you.
Mm-hmm.
She's reconnected with
Wow.
um, um, her academy roommates, and their children are praying for us. We're on the list everywhere. So just that conglomeration of power and spiritual focus, gives me the energy. And I'm gonna be honest, transparent. Last week it was woo, and what has happened as of August 1st of last year, my ex-wife's um, sent a list of 20 things that she called me and said that I did, and my mama didn't name it. My mother and father didn't name me any of the things that she accused me of. Had me under investigation for abuse, neglect, um, and I didn't even know about it 3 times. Subsequently, the children chose to tell this same story to the judge, and the judge said, it's not safe for you to be around your children. So I have not seen the children, heard from the children, and I set up with the judge weekly counseling, um, and the judge hasn't followed through.
Wow.
So that put me being a strong one, and I mean, I'm talking about. I remember that show Doogie Howser.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I used to put myself to sleep thinking about being a father and a professional, a husband, a father, and a professional. And so, I've thought about this, and to take the children away from me, the way psychologically is extremely difficult for me as a man, um, as a human man. And a part of me is an animal still, you understand?
Mm-hmm.
And I I operated a different way early in my life. I had to operate completely different. And it's extremely difficult. High blood pressure, I understand. Hypertension, I understand. Because somebody can take whom or what I am and turn it around 180 degrees, and I have no defense for that. And the solution to it is to become that.
Hmm.
Do you understand?
Yeah.
And I'm very good at it. I'm very good at it. I'm extremely I've had experience. And so to navigate through that, and then added 3 years ago, we're a month from my anniversary. I snapped both of my quadriceps tendons, the tendon that attaches above your kneecap. I snapped both of them
Ooh.
in the span of a week, the week of Thanksgiving 3 years ago,
Hmm.
approximately 2 months after we got married. So when she took them vows, boy, she didn't know that all of this was coming. And as a man, for me to be in this situation, and like Miss Mary said, weak, not only spiritually but physically weak, and then it becomes a mental, and in learning how to be still
Oh, Jesus.
when you have to be still. And those things at 3:30 in the morning, 4 o'clock in the morning, coming to you,
Mm-hmm.
waking up or sleeping in so much pain, and waking up feeling deserted, empty, and having to find a way to get through that day. But being able to look at my wife because of what we went through in order to get here. And my wife has been steadfast.
Mm.
My wife, I have developed a sense of pride, a sense of, and understand them. I'm not trying to be poetic, but amusing that, if we was on the street, and we may have seen it, we may have not experienced it, but what somebody who run in the streets could do to somebody who's walking the streets. But we're gonna sign in 2 weeks on a house.
What?
I've made too much money sitting back working a hobby, after trying to help somebody, working on lawnmowers, working on motorcycles, turned it into working on cars. And I made more money helping people get into a vehicle, keeping a vehicle, or their dream motorcycle, or getting their lawnmower running. So it's to be able to sit back and go through those rough patches, because we're being honest. We don't, or I don't, or she doesn't, and just communicating. I'm gonna pass because I feel like I'm talking a lot.
Well, you're good.
You're good.
You're good.
But just being able to talk about it and having a safe place, developing that safe place to express has been key, because if I had to hold it in or didn't have someplace to express it, I would have been a statistic. I'd be in jail, or I'd have created or fed into the stereotype.
Mm-hmm. Angry black man.
Yeah. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So, Sierra, hearing him say all of that, what's your response?
I just wanted to point out sometimes even though you want to walk as a spiritual person, the natural man will rise up and desire to rise up. So there have been many situations, especially going through with our kids, where you want to fight. It's like, I know how to handle this situation, and I can handle it. I can call some people. We can go take care of it. So him going back to what he said about being still was one of the hardest things to do.
Yeah.
When your natural man is like, we got to do this a different way.
I know exactly how to.
I know exactly what we need to do.
Right.
So, and then back to just the prayers of other people and everybody connected to us when we don't have the strength to pray for ourselves was very key in our relationship and in our family, and even to date. Even though there's still chaos. What?
Music was at the center, I thought, when we were dating, but it has stayed because she's singing, Heaven's singing now.
So she got a song for everything.
But that has definitely been, that has stayed a staple.
Yeah, worship definitely. As he was saying, we used to do it at the house, going through. I'd get on the piano and just start playing and singing. Just brings that peace to the atmosphere. So yeah, those are some of the things. And like he was saying, to date, how far God has brought us, and it's definitely been a faith walk, making decisions. Getting ready to sign on a home. I'll be the first in my immediate family as a homeowner, which is huge.
Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah.
Congratulations.
But the journey, but I don't know that I would trade it. I might trade some of the stuff that we went through, but but yeah, and we, there's still more ways to go, but definitely headed in the right direction, and
yeah.
Grateful.
You said something when you were like, okay, all right, we got other ways we can handle this.
Yeah.
And
so, back in the day, we'd be ready to fight. Like, we can handle it.
Come on, like, look, and if you don't want to get your hands dirty, you know somebody that knows somebody. So it's so funny because listening to you guys, it's almost the same, because we're worshipers too. I get on the keyboard real quick and play some drums, and whatever enemy or devil or whatever is trying to come up against us, we singing it, playing it, or beating it up out of there, because I'm gonna set up the drums and we're gonna have a shout break in the middle of the living room. Something's gonna break at some point. But it's just a true testament of how the enemy tries to come up, and if it can't attack the other person in the marriage or the household, it goes to the other person. And so with both of you guys being spiritually mature to the point to where you guys know how to put your flesh under subjection, have you guys ever seen the enemy try to come attack you, but it can't get to y'all, so it goes to attack somebody else in the household?
Babies.
Yeah.
Like, y'all good, and then all of a sudden the kids is like acting
crazy.
Cool.
To tell you the truth, To tell you the truth, it was almost like a natural occurrence, especially with the visitations. It was almost like clockwork. It would the first 4 to 6 hours, the kids, they've been told, daddy's gonna hurt me, daddy's gonna hurt you. If you say anything, you'll never see us again. So the kids, it's amazing, they just blurt it out. And so that those first 4 to 6 hours, it was important just to feed them, take care of their needs. So and to hear that and be available to hear it, because they can't tell me. And there's always a talker that would go back and
Mhm.
tell mommy that such and so and so. And I found out that if we had a discussion on it, then it would definitely be tattle told on.
Mm.
So it was being able to, and like she said early, you know, in the bedroom at night, me going completely nuts. No, don't take that bag and get in the car and go someplace. Sit your butt down. um,
Mm-mm.
and I went into the garage and worked on a motorcycle or worked on a car. Um, she'd sing, she'd get on and sing, and I didn't know how important that was, and until those moments. I didn't ask for that. That wasn't on the list, but it came back, and it's something she wants to do. She needs to do. She has to do, and it became a necessity for me, and even made me want to pick up my guitar and learn some more songs. Um, but it was the the um the attacks came always, and sadly through the innocently through the children. And then there's always our jobs, and it's amazing. It's like, Cat Williams, the comedian. He
Mhm.
Yeah.
said, I can see you.
Right.
And
Yeah.
people at some, and especially in a leadership role, administration role. How can you say that, let alone do? And
Mhm.
when you contradict, you want me to do something that you talk about but don't do,
Ah,
and you're incapable of doing it. And in fact, you're supposed to train me, and you're not doing it. You're going
Right.
the opposite, and you're getting paid more than me. I work more than you,
Mm.
and you lucky I don't snap on you.
It's a whole nother show on that.
Right.
So it's those attacks where it's like, I know the answers. I'm gonna correct everything right now, and that includes you, and having to swallow because it's not that important. It's just, I can't wait to get home to discuss this, let this out honestly,
yeah.
and at the same time understand that the home is someplace that we're building, and someplace that is built. Um, and I'm sitting back and I'm listening to this conversation, and it's so nice to know that your hard work is paying off.
Right.
The patience, the trusting in your higher power, the universe, um, in yourself, and I think that's where we don't talk about sometimes. But the ability to trust in yourself, trusting in God, your higher power, uh, going back in the past and saying, well, it wasn't this, but it sure was this. And if this hadn't happened, I wouldn't have appreciated. And now you're building those blocks up. And the other part, my mom pointed it out to me. She said she is proud of me I said, what? She says, I know where you came from, Negro.
Wow.
And she said, I didn't know that you had it in you. It's not like being business minded.
Mm.
I didn't know that you had it in you. Being able to love even through the hurt and the pain and disappointment. Because if we were on the court, I'd kill you. We were on the football field. If you were weak and showed weakness, I'd kill you.
Mm-hmm.
But to be able to love and hurt, love and heal while healing somebody, come on, man.
Yeah.
Wow.
Hey, that'll preach.
Yeah.
Heal while healing somebody, or heal somebody while healing.
Love and heal.
Yeah. So, wow. So, has there ever been a time where, in this process that you guys are going through, that y'all have just butted heads and y'all are not on the same page?
Absolutely. What?
You said that earlier.
Yeah, you did say that. So how, like, all right, so my thing is, because those are our favorite, that's my favorite moments when we butt heads and we not on the same page. It's like, how do you deal with that without, like, I'm done. I don't, like, I'm good.
You know what? What's funny? Because I'm the one.
He's the one.
But the problem is that most of our arguments are me pointing out how we on the same page, and she trying to say that we're not.
I'm the one trying to prove a point. Like, no, you're wrong. You ain't right. You're wrong.
That's her. Like, I try to go in the situation like, okay, all right, there's not a wrong or right person in this situation, but you wrong. No, because seriously, it's like, and it could go because, like, all right, so you're never always gonna be on the same page. Let's just put that out there. One of the biggest things that I love about the relationship that we have is that we communicate about everything. And so it allows us to, even when we're having a disagreement, when she wants to go in the room and close the door, I'll go in there. I can't sing, but I'll be like, I know you want to leave, man, but I refuse. And she'd be like, boy, you get out of my face. And so,
cold water.
Man, look.
Yeah. See.
Look.
He does. You need to cool off for a minute.
Have we ever wanted to call it quits? Have we ever? Yes. But I can remember twice, and it was all me. And I'll say it point blank. It was because of what we went through prior to being married. I wanted to test. I wanted to see. Oh, I told you.
Keep going.
I wanted to test. I wanted to see her mettle. In a I don't know if it a man move or a punk move, but I wanted to see when the fire was pushed up against. What would you say? What would you do? Because of what's happened in my past and what's happened in your past. And so her ability, and especially, and she probably tell you this better than me, after what she's been through in the past. And to me, I'm being real. I'm being real. And I was at least one of the time I was like, I don't care no more. But I needed to know that even after being married, that this is real. You know, we got her family members divorcing. I got some of my family members divorcing. I had a couple of good friends go through a divorce, and I'm like, how do you go through 20 years of marriage?
I don't get it.
I don't get that one.
10 years of marriage, and now you gonna?
I don't get it.
I don't get that one.
That's too many years invested. Now I'm gonna see my
I don't
return on that investment. I don't know.
And like I said earlier, since I was 10, 11, 12 years old, I wanted to be a husband, a father, and a career person in the medical field. And so I've thought about this for years. I've dreamed about it. I've examined this. I got a blueprint in my head, and it is being adapted constantly. And I'm about prevention. You know, I'm not about being surprised. Even though you don't talk about it, I've already thought about it. You understand? I'm gonna slide on out.
No, I think absolutely times when we're like, all right, but like he said, it was him. It was mostly him. No, but really just being able to say, till death do us part. Like there's no out. There's no. We committed through injury, through ups, through downs, through good and through bad. Like
Right.
Yeah.
us might fight, we might disagree. But I'll see you in the morning. We're gonna be here.
What you said.
Right.
Yeah.
And to me, I feel
And
like
I'm
a
stubborn
punk.
in that way, I think, but I'm like, okay.
I feel like a punk a little bit because she's been through much worse than that. And so to me, it's like, unless I'm getting physical, throwing stuff around and acting a complete fool, she's not afraid. She ain't.
Thug life. No, it's fine.
Look. So
But, you know, we could have a whole nother segment on just leading up to marriage. Like it was a lot of
that's a Halloween prop, right?
there was a lot of trauma that I had dealt with, a lot of hurt, things that I didn't even know I was dealing with, and God really gave him the ability to see me really, and point it out in all of his honesty, and you know, it was a hard pill to swallow, but it allowed for healing to take place, which was the most important thing in that process leading up to us saying I do. And after going through all of that, it's like this ain't nothing. So anything that were to come up now is like, all right, we know how to get through this. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. So, you know, it's so funny that this kind of came up the way that it came up because, you know, when we get mad at each other, it's like, okay, I'm not leaving you and you ain't leaving me. So I'm gonna go ahead and go over here to my little room over here on the side. You go ahead and you stay in this room and we'll be all right. It's like you said, see you in the morning.
Right.
But I'm real stubborn, so
Right. She's a stubborn one.
I'm very
This one
stubborn.
right here.
You say he's not talking to me, I will make you eat them words. And
Right.
I will sit there and he'd be talking to me and I'm like,
He is the most like, I don't know if I can call it patience, but he can be silent for so long.
yes.
I will be like, and I'm the one that's like, okay, I'm gonna make you talk to me. Like we gonna talk.
That's
Yeah.
me.
Face, I'm right here. but he'll just be on. I'll be like, how do you?
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
Yeah. My husband,
I'll be
he
like
called me petty.
tickle. I'll be like tickle, tickle, tickle. I ain't ticklish yet. I got you to talk.
He say I'm real
It's
petty.
easy for him to get me to break before it's not as easy for me to get him to break. Like, but he knows. He knows.
Man.
Yeah.
So
And I think that's, for me, in my previous marriage, previous relationships, that was a catastrophe. And I was the one chasing somebody who did not want to be found or caught. And, it ended up being empty. And for me, that was so disappointing. It was extremely hurtful that I put that much time, effort, energy, and 3 children into somebody who just wanted to be hurt, and act out inappropriately.
Wow.
That is crazy.
Yes.
And so I got a return on my investment. ROI,
Good.
the return on my investment.
So
That's good.
a quick question. Well, I actually had 2, but in preparing yourself for marriage, man, so getting all of that together, going through what you went through, how do you think, and my question left my head, that's why I'm pausing. So
What?
all right, so I really for real had a good juicy question.
It must
And
have been.
it left my head just that quick. Oh my God. All right, so
What was the second question?
that left my head.
We getting to that age, boy. We are.
Thank God.
Last weekend was tough for me, man. I
Man.
couldn't remember 6 seconds ago.
Well, this is IEP season, so it's we're at the quarter, so I didn't graded all my grades for school and all that. So I
You
got
about
like
to shut down,
AB, U.S. government and all that stuff running through my head at the same
Do you
time.
guys have any questions for us?
Do you have anything? I know social media plays a huge part. And I saw David, you were at your daughter's graduation,
Mhm.
and then y'all moved to Arizona. I was like, what? What just happened? I want to say, was that last year or 2 years ago?
No, that was
That was
this year. That was this year.
That was this year?
That was
Uh-huh.
this year.
See, now I'm telling on myself. What if you guys don't mind sharing? What allowed you to make that? I'm not talking about moving from one city. Like, we're talking about a whole nother region. What was the connect to southwestern United States? And it's a loaded question because I'm trying to get her to make the move as well. We playing the lotto and trying to develop several businesses to allow us to, but that, what is the word? It's not the abyss, but what was it like for you? Why there?
All right, so let's just say we were in a position where we went through a lot of crushing and a lot of building up and a lot of soul seeking things when we were in Kansas City, in Kansas, period. And so in those moments, God was preparing us for our greater, our bigger, and getting us prepared to make the move. We didn't know exactly where and how we were going to do it. We just knew that God was going to do it. And so when it was, I want to say, we couldn't find a house in Kansas City. And so what we got so much to the point to where, like my wife said the other day, we had an address. They were telling us to go get the lights and everything cut on at the address. Matter of fact, no, we didn't have a mailbox key, but they wanted us to get everything transferred over to this address. And so they came back like a couple of days later and said, all right, we can't get you guys in the house, let you guys get in the house because of a cable bill from X amount of years ago. And we were like, what? It didn't make sense.
Yeah.
I was like, God, you guys, whatever you like, literally, we would sit in the car because we DoorDash and Instacart and do all that stuff. And so that gives us time to spend time with ourselves and God. And so we're like, God, what is it that you want for us to do? And my wife was like, I don't want to live here anymore. I can't find a house. God, you know what? I want to move to Arizona. I said, what?
Yes, we did. What?
I'm like, what? I was like, okay, all right. So I told God, I was like literally having a conversation with God. I said, God, look, if you can provide me with the job, I'll do it. God said, update your resume. I updated my resume. That was a Monday. Yeah, it was a Monday. I updated my resume that Monday. By Friday, I had like 10 different jobs from Arizona. Like, we want you.
Yeah.
Like, I had phone interviews from like 10 different school districts here in the state of Arizona. Like, we want to hire you to come teach here. And so that was the very first step. I got the job before I even moved to Arizona. So that's what made everything so much easier. Now, fast forward to like, because we came and visited in March of this year. And what made everything so much better was that we have a son that lives here.
Yeah.
And so he kind of hipped us to the game, you know, told us where to go, what we can do. And, you know, we came down here in March, like I said, to visit the job that I had got. And so this is how God works. It's so crazy because we move, like fast forward, we get down here. All HE double hockey sticks breaks out. Nothing was going right.
Yeah.
We were supposed to move down here earlier and couldn't move down here earlier because, you know, circumstances. Couldn't move into the house that we wanted to move into because it was just the house, and you can get scammed out here real quick.
Yes.
Wow.
Long story short,
Don't never do nothing online.
don't ever, like, if somebody tells you we got this house, we want to bypass all that stuff, we just send us your money and come on down here. Don't do that.
Oh no!
Don't do that. Literally, don't do that. So we finally get down here because I was like, I'm not sending anybody any money, and I don't know what I'm moving into.
See it.
We wanted to see what we were going to move into. It was about 2 months on a spiel where we really for real didn't have a place to stay.
Yes.
And it was because we were going from place to place, trying to find somebody that would actually sell to us, rent to us. And then we finally, like last month, we got a yes.
Yes.
We got a yes. And all I could hear was God saying, it's better. This house that we're in now is better than all the other houses that we looked at. Better neighborhood. Better everything. Everything about this house is so much better. And when only thing I can think of is the song by Michael Jr. is "It's Gonna Be Big."
Yeah.
And that is exactly what it is. It's gonna be big. Yeah. God's gonna open up the windows of heaven, pour you out a blessing that you won't even be able to explain it to anybody. Yeah. And so this move really was it was a faith move. And when you're talking about faith, God has to honor faith because it's in his word. He has to honor it. Because he says, if you believe it, you just gotta believe it.
Yeah.
And so if you are wanting to move wherever you want to move, all you gotta do is just move.
When you said it was definitely a faith move for the both of us. And when we got down here, what I got from, you know, this is what Power Outreach. This is Live Love Lab, but we have a Power Outreach ministry, and so God had to make us uncomfortable because he's like, how can you be a power outreach ministry if you can't even describe how to, of being homeless or, being without? How can you minister to those people? Because if you got everything and and you go out there and minister to people that don't have, or they're struggling or whatever, they're like, well, tell us about your struggle. Your outreach ministry. Tell us about this. Tell us about that. So we literally, the first 2 weeks, the first 2 weeks that we were here, we our car broke down. we had to sleep in a car because it broke down and nobody wanted to help us.
Nobody. They looked at us.
They were treating us like panhandlers.
They treated us like we was crackheads.
Yes, we were like, excuse me, can you? They was like, no. Look, walking past us.
Hold on, pause. Sierra, Kobe, look. So we were at the gas station. I was like, sir, I don't need any money or anything. And before I can say the last part of my sentence here,
they treated
Oh, it make you want to rob somebody, boy. I'm gonna get your attention somehow.
That's what I kept telling them. I was like, these people are mean. What did we get ourselves into? And so it was just a tire, something going on. Our lugs came off and our tire, came off. And so it was just a tire. We're not asking for the gas. We're not asking for anything, no money.
I just needed a jack.
All he needed was a jack.
A jack. That's all I needed was a jack.
That's it. And they was like, nope. They thought we were trying to lure them over to the car to do something to them or whatever.
It was bad.
And my dad lives in Kansas City. He called somebody that he knew that had a son that lived up here to help us. That was the only way we got the help. Wow. And fast forward a little bit, another week later?
Another week later. The same thing happened.
Yeah, the same thing happened, and it got worse. And so we were stuck in Chase.
We were stuck in Chase Bank parking lot.
Yeah.
Oh no! Now you sticking the joint out, huh?
Yeah, look. And amazing, no officers, no police officers,
nobody came to help us.
Nobody came to help us.
Now we see police pulling people. If somebody's car broke down, we seeing the police officers now. We like, well, where was y'all at? Nobody came. Yeah,
nobody.
I'm like, okay, we didn't see that.
Look,
AAA.
AAA came out to try to. AAA wouldn't even help us.
No, AAA came and he looked at the tire. He said, "No, not dealing with that." And
look,
get my money back. You better get my money back.
We done been through it with AAA.
Look, let me tell you. Look, people down here, when they don't want to help you, they don't want to do nothing for you, they be like, "Hi, how you doing? Okay, I'll get it. And then I just hear you speaking English like 2 seconds ago.
But the thing about we were stuck another night in the car. This was a different week. And so we were there, and I was crying. I was, oh Lord, this is terrible. And he was like, "It's gonna be all right, baby. It's gonna be all right." He was so calm. But the guy who did come and help us, the tow truck guy, he was a black guy that came and helped us. He said that tow truck man the one from AAA, he just didn't want to do it. He's like, he just didn't want to deal with it. He said he could have did that, because we needed a ride to
we needed a ride back to the hotel,
and we were going to come back. And so, through AAA, they normally say that you can either get a rental car or they would take you, but it's up to the tow truck driver. He said no. I guess he thought we was going to do something too. But long story short, the guy who came to help us, he said, "Well, my truck's not big enough." He said, "How far is the place?" We was like, "It's literally like 2 minutes."
It was like 2 minutes away from where we stopped.
From where we, the place where we were taking the car. And so it was so close. We walked. The tow truck guy, he's like, "You gotta be kidding me. They didn't want to bring you here." We was like, no. He didn't want to help us. And so they ended up fixing the car. But they even tried to give us problems. They said, "You have to move your car back a little bit further for us to fix it."
Now, granted, we didn't have no lugs on the car.
Yes, if we
on the
would have
tire.
went backwards, forwards, the tire would have just completely fell off. And so my husband was like, "Are you serious? Like y'all could bring y'all little thing and scoot it, fix the tire." So they end up doing it. They end up fixing it, and we got away from there. And I was like, "Thank you, Jesus." But what I experienced, what we both experienced, I told my husband I went to the bathroom, and there were ladies, and they were cleaning up, washing their face. They had their little bags, and I'm just like, Lord, I never thought I'd experience this, watching these women, and I cried, and I'm watching. We went to IHOP, and we seen people, homeless people in there. We saw so much, and so I said, God is making us live up to our name. We're outreach ministry. How can we minister to people if we never been through anything? And we, like I said, we got treated like panhandlers. So I said, well, we can at least tell people we was treated like some panhandlers.
We slept on the street.
Well, we went on the street.
We was in the car.
We was about to pass out.
Funny now. You know what's funny about that?
What's that?
Is just a week or two ago. That's a thing now on YouTube.
Yeah.
In their cars, van life. People said forget it after COVID, and they found out they could work from home or work from their phone. Forget about paying $2,000, $3,000 rent.
Right.
And went out and got a. But I think that's funny though. It's your fault. You put outreach on there.
That's right.
Look, she helped me with the name.
You didn't read the definition. I tell you, go through some stuff.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
You have to actually go through, and even with the Live, Love, Laugh, we've had some struggles, in our marriage, and it wasn't nothing really bad, but I'm telling him, stop preaching about certain stuff, because go through it. Don't preach about faith. Don't preach about none of that. Don't preach about patience. None of that. I'm sick of it.
Yeah.
I'm sick of going through it.
I'm on here teaching and preaching my little heart out.
Yeah.
She's like, stop preaching about faith.
Yeah, let me tell you something.
You gotta go.
Faith. I'm like, I don't want to be. I done been through this before, and so it's just. Faith. You have to trust God. It's like, even with patience, I'm like, you talking about patience. Now we gotta wait. We probably would have been in that house by now. I said,
what they say, the words for you first. That's what they say.
Yes, whatever that. And so now I'm even careful what I sing. It's a song out. Take everything, Lord. I don't want it. I don't need it, God. I just want it. I refuse to sing that song.
Don't take it all, Lord. Don't take it all.
Yeah. I was in a play, and it was asked, do you want to sing this song? And I said, let me listen to it. I listened to it, and it said, take everything. I don't want it. I don't need it, God. I said, no. So, you better get that to somebody else. Don't get that to me. You gotta be careful what you sing, what you preach about, what you do, because you're gonna be the first to go through it.
Yeah.
So whatever you I say a lot of times, like one of our segments, I was telling the men, I said, if you pick the wrong one, that's your fault. Because God gave us a discerning spirit. Yeah. He said, a man that findeth a wife findeth a good thing. We ain't supposed to search after y'all. Y'all supposed to search after us. So if I'm the wrong one, it's your fault. It's a learning lesson. You made your season your permanent, and that's your fault.
It's your fault.
Because you are you coming sticking out.
That's funny. But that's funny. That's funny.
Oh my God.
That is funny, boy. It's not hilarious because it's true.
Yes.
It's funny because it's true.
Yes.
It's like, that's scary. When you're going into you know, what you find what you're looking for, but if you don't know what you're looking for,
Yeah.
you can find that too.
Yeah.
Because if you're not honest with yourself and somebody else hasn't been honest with you, that's when you get the crazy people like, I know that's a mark right there. And I can get X, Y, and Z before they understand A, B, C, and it's happened. And so it's like, well, if you knew and you went in honestly, you made a decision based on this. Yeah, that's why people shouldn't get married until they're 30 anyway. We don't know as a man, we don't know who we are till about 27. Our brain isn't fully developed.
That's true. Yeah.
We still developing. If we got good money, maybe.
Yeah, I can kind of see that because my 20s, I was wild. Yeah, my 20s, I was wild. Yeah, I mean, but it's all a growing process. I think, and also, I think it depends on the mindset of a man because there are men in their 30s and 40s that are still out here wilding out. So it's like it's a mindset. You have to want to be in a marriage. You have to want to get to a point to where you can put your flesh under subjection, and you can go to the store, see a nice looking lady, be like, oh, okay, all right, but you know what you got at home. Mm-hmm. And I think where us as men sometimes mess up is that we get greedy, and we don't know how to accept accountability, and then responsibility, and then understanding and empathy and all those different things that go into a marriage to get to the point to where you can be in a successful, healthy relationship. Because there's some relationships out there now that I'm like, I thank God I'm with the woman that I'm with, because boy, there's some relationships they see the wife peep out the good looking woman from a far distance and just wants to see if the husband's gonna be dumb enough to look.
Why are you laughing so hard?
Listen, we see it from afar.
We know.
We be like, my husband, he passed every time. He be like, "Oh, see." I said, "That's because you saw it from afar too."
Look, Kobe, I be in the grocery store. I be like, why you looking at me like that? I don't know. I just you just so dirty.
One time we was in the grocery store, and this girl, she had a disrespectful butt, and I said, and I looked at him to see if he's gonna look. He just not look. He was like, I don't see what you talking about. Who?
See, I was like, I don't know who you talking. She what?
I said that butt is just disrespectful. I said, look. He passed that test, huh? He said, you ain't about to get me.
I pulled off.
We be laughing at them together, man.
Mm-hmm.
I don't see nothing.
Oh my God, that's funny.
Oh my God. Oh my God.
That's just good for the soul. I'm telling you.
We laugh at them together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we're able to laugh at them together.
Mm-hmm.
I tease her because I know I'm 180 degree different than what she used to mess with. And so there's that quiet confidence
Yes.
There's that quiet confidence in that that certain confidence. So that's number one. Number two, I don't really be looking. Do I?
No, he doesn't. Really, he don't.
Listen. All I have to say is, I didn't put it on the list, but it's there.
Yeah.
It's all there. It's all there.
You know, and that's so crazy that you said that, because I'm so much different than what she's been with as well. You know, and she's different than what any woman that I've ever been with. You know, the very first time we start talking, we talk about God. I ain't never been with nobody where I can be like, you know, man, God was talking to me last night. She'd be like, you too? I was like, yeah. And so we developed a relationship where we would pray together. We would read the Bible. She had scriptures. And I'll never forget this one time. She was out of town, and I called her and I read her like a book. I knew nothing about her.
Nothing about me.
I had her in the bathroom of the hotel crying.
Yes. I was like, I ain't supposed to be crying like this. Like, get out of my life. I mean, because he really was ministering to me, and I was on the floor just crying and thanking God at the same time, because I never had somebody that I was with actually minister to me the way that he did. And it felt good. I'm like, Lord, I thank you for bringing him in my life, because, you know, I can't be more spiritual or, you know, in God more than the man. He got to be able to carry me. You know, he got to get a prayer through. I can't be the one praying all the time. You know, I need to know that he can talk to heaven. You know, he can reach heaven and not the ceiling. So I was just like, Lord, I thank you. And so, yeah, he got me. I was like, all right, this conversation is going.
I would say ditto that. He definitely is everything I didn't know that I wanted or needed.
Yeah.
And same, read me like a book. Like, and I think the first person I was ever with that didn't have a desire to deal with all those surface things or your outward appearance, and really challenged me to go to such a deeper place. So yeah.
Right. I can remember, and I'll say this, and I'm gonna let you guys close.
What was your question?
Oh well, it's not a question. I'm gonna say this.
No, it's the one that you forgot.
I can't remember. It went out the window. I don't know. I can't.
Man, it felt juicy. I'm upset.
Man. Man, I can remember. It's gonna come back. I can remember when Sierra was first writing. Well, she really wasn't writing. She was. We were looking for a place to record one of her songs, and we were doing a rehearsal, and I got the chance to see the God in her, and just being able through worship and worshiping through the songs that she was writing. And I was like, man, like God is really gonna bless and send the right person for her who can see and be able to pull those different things out. Because I don't know about you guys, but she pulls things out of me that I didn't even know was there.
Yeah, he underestimated himself a lot. And he would say, I can't do that. I'm like, yes, you can, and you're gonna do it. A lot of times when he's on the keyboard, he's playing certain things, and he didn't hear what I heard. Me being a singer, you know, so I'm like, you know, I would go. I don't know how to play a piano, but I would go over there and I would play the whole song, what I heard. And he's like, how you go? come and show me what I. He knows how to play. I don't. I heard it by ear, and so I would pull stuff out of him, and he would pull a lot out of me. He would say, because I try to start low. When I sing, I start low, and then I end up high. He always try to make me be high. Start out high because he's like, you can do it. No, I can't, but I can. I can. It's just
I put it in the Raptors.
Yeah, he put me up there, and I be looking at him. It's like he do it in the retarded time. Like we in church, and there's a lot of people, and he starts up, and he just like, and I have to start. But I look, it, right? And go down some, But we pull stuff out of each other, and I thank God. I thank God for that we balance each other out. It's a balance, and yeah. Did your question come back?
No. So out of the two of you guys, who's the most level-headed?
Level?
Like if it's getting ready, if it's like getting ready to go down, who's pulling that?
Me.
She is.
And
it's me.
People would rather come to
Now, let's to be clear, it depends on if it's getting ready to go down. It depends on what it has to do with, because I'm very protective over those that I love. So if it's about to go down and it's something to do with this one or my kids, like it's be about that life.
She's there. But it's like this. It'll come back.
Yeah.
But I'm like this.
Yeah.
You understand? I'm just waiting for.
Since you win, I gotta stay.
Change your tone. Because anyway.
Yeah. He's like that with it encompasses everything. Protector to the T, like everything.
That's me.
Yeah, he's a bullet.
Yeah.
I'll be like, it's okay. You ain't got to say anything.
No.
It don't matter if we had a restaurant, the gas station, our service wasn't right. It don't matter what it is. We have to drive through.
Let me get that.
Yes.
Yeah. But me, I'm very blunt. So if something happens, say we had a restaurant and something happens, he's like, let me get it. Because I'll just come straight.
Yeah.
That's just how I am. And so a lot of times people would rather come to him and ask him the questions than come and ask me. Because if I say, in my mind, he's like, well, let me pray about that and think about it. They come to me, I'm like, no, that's just, I'm just straightforward with it. And so sometimes he'd be like, hey, you could have said that a little nicer.
Yeah. That's me. I'd be like, now.
And I'm like, well, okay, well, I'm going to pray about it, but it's probably going to be a no. I mean, I'm still saying no.
Y'all laughing about it. This is some serious stuff right here.
Yeah.
You laughing. I'm serious. I'm going to a restaurant to spend my money, and you want to talk crazy like you know me or you know my wife.
God.
Yeah.
Don't let it be some mediocre service or something. Don't. Yeah.
And then you want to you expect a tip?
Yeah.
Or you don't expect a tip.
Yeah.
Oh, now we really going. Let me teach you something. So I try to be diplomatic before, not during or after. I'm gonna give you the slack. And if you have enough depth, you will pick up what I'm putting down, because I am the epitome of intelligence.
Mm-hmm.
Intelligence came from somebody who looked like me.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
And so you don't think that you are more capable and I'm less capable than you. I'll peep that out in a second, and we'll just remove our energy from your energy.
He'll be like,
you can't stand my energy. I'll let you there right
we'll be
now.
there. He'll be like, "We're leaving." I'll be like, "We just sit down."
Just
Right
sit
here."
down.
Evan will be like, "Not again." Here we go. But I've learned to appreciate. I've learned to appreciate it, especially coming from a long line of strong Black women, strong independent Black women, and not a lot of. I'm a daddy's girl to a T, but life circumstances, but not having a large presence of strong men or coming from married couples and seeing those examples. I've definitely grown and learned to appreciate and to take that step back and being comfortable with not always having to be the strong one or in the forefront of relationships. So that's been a journey too. Yeah.
Right. I think that's the same thing with my wife as well. Like, just having a man be able to step up to the plate, and take care of the man's responsibility of the part. We did a segment, a little while ago, where it was the man taking the responsibility where he had to take the responsibility because the woman has had to be mama and daddy, play both roles, and it's not very often that you see a marriage that has this even. Sometimes it's the woman's here, she's over everything, she's doing everything that the man and the woman is supposed to do, or it's the man that's doing everything, doing what the husband and the wife should be doing, versus the husband and the wife coming together. And a lot of times people don't realize that it starts with God first, then after God it's the man, then after the man it's the wife, then the kids.
Yeah.
And then it's a trickle down effect. Yeah. And once you get your house in order, things are smooth. And so I take my hat off to y'all. Like, I've seen growth in both of you, Kobe and Sierra, from the first time I seen you guys get married, or from the first time I seen you guys before you guys got married to where you guys are now. And it's just a beautiful thing to see your families come together, to see you guys do ministry together. Even though I need Kobe, I know you don't sing. I know I don't sing. You know what I'm saying? One of them. Hey, Sierra, one of them.
He can tell you if it don't sound right, though. I'll tell you that. He'll be like, yeah.
Man, for real, it did my heart some good to see at the CD release party, to see Kobe in the back selling CDs up in the front with his pom-poms cheering on. It was a beautiful thing. And we're gonna have to have you guys on again. I want to say we're working on something with some other couples. We're gonna do a collaboration, and so we'll have a couple other couples on with you guys. And this is beautiful. It's a beautiful thing when you can find other couples that'll say yes, that they're willing to come on, tell their story, tell where they are, how they got there. Yeah, that love each other.
We've had some people, we just asked them to do a video about love, and they were like, no. Some of the men were like, no. I was like, dang, they don't love their wives. All you gotta do is this one. It was a 1 minute to tell how much you love her, and her tell how much she loves him. And some people would not do it. And this was around the pandemic. So I said, ooh, it's gonna be we need to
Lord, y'all in the shut in. Y'all shut in. What's going on?
Yeah, y'all
y'all shut in with each other. What's going on?
Right. It's like y'all don't like each other. Like, you mad because of the pandemic? What's going on?
What is going on? So it was crazy, man. The pandemic, it either brought you closer together or it made you say, all right, I don't want to be with this person no more.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. And so if your marriage, if you made it out of the pandemic,
That's it. That's the y'all.
Y'all stuck together like glue.
Yes.
Y'all,
Some people didn't make it.
So, right.
Yeah.
So we almost at that 2-hour mark.
Yeah.
We
really enjoy
we
it.
really enjoy y'all for
It
real.
seems like it don't seem like it's
It
been
don't feel like 2 hours.
Wow. It don't. But we almost at 2 hours. Did you guys have anything that you guys wanted to close with?
Well, I believe that this needs to happen more often, and it's something I've thought about in the back of my mind. Well, especially because of the technology, I stay away from it. I would much rather touch y'all, you know, fellowship in person. But this is huge, and I don't know who's watching, but if I was to had an invitation to this, hearing about your story, and I'm hoping that somebody, and even I think in person, I would feel more comfortable going into detail, just because of the intimacy, the privacy.
Yeah.
I don't know who's listening here, and that's sort of scary. But at the same time, I don't know who's listening. So, you know,
Who will benefit
whoever,
from it?
yeah, who would benefit from it. But I think, especially as a culture, we need to get back to this.
Yeah.
You know, I remember my parents when they were still together. It's funny, none of the people they're still together, and I just wonder how much of this did not take place because of stress, work. Um, this is a release. This is something that I look forward to over the last month or so since you proposed it, and I'm just glad that I was able to get it out. We're planning on meeting at least once a month, having a agape feast at our new home, where we provide and people bring over a dish, and we can just network whatever it needs to be. I'm hoping that we will find together. It's something that I wanted to do here initially when we moved in this house and we were going to purchase it. But it wasn't able to happen. So I'm proud of you, and for you guys to come full circle and everything that you come through. Because I'd be bitter for a while. I wouldn't be up on the internet talking about I couldn't. I'd be fussing a while for how's a tow truck driver not going to tow or change a tire? Like,
Look,
I'd be looking to sue the tow truck association instead of putting that story and contacting people. So, thank you to you giving us a voice. Thank you for being proud of us and putting us on your podcast.
Yes.
And we need more. I wouldn't mind sitting in on another one, or we need to. It would be great if we could set up something where we could meet halfway or once a month, travel back and forth. I already talked to you about that on the slide, but
I have a quick question. If we had a couples retreat, would you guys be willing to be a part of that?
yes.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
That's a reason to get out and get away.
Yeah. Okay.
it's in the works.
There's got to be horses.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Horses.
It's definitely something like that here.
Yeah.
I'm not riding no goats.
The goats be mad at you. They'll be like, no, you didn't.
There might be camels out in the desert.
We gonna get you one of them miniature ponies.
Woo! And watch out for them cartels down there too.
Oh yeah, they big down here.
Yeah.
it's big down here.
Yeah.
So we love y'all. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna let y'all close us out in prayer. I don't care who does it.
This one.
Lord, we just want to come to you and say thank you. Thank you for the opportunity. Thank you for the struggle that developed the story, the strength, the security that we have in one another. And we've definitely developed trust in our higher power. We thank you for the people that come alongside, that nurtured us. And we thank you for the people that have also observed. We ask that you continue to strengthen, you continue to develop the story, develop character, build character, as well as model for the young in heart, young in maturity and development, and especially for the marriages that are the uneducation that is out there, the dysfunction that is out there. Please let them know that there is function within dysfunction. There's hope, and there's definitely a finish line. Everything is for a reason, and everything becomes new, especially when it is through you. Thank you for Mr. and Mrs. David Heiston and their ministry.
Thank you, Lord.
Reach. Continue to bring support from everywhere. We need this. We need this as a culture. We need this as a community. So we thank you and continued blessings for them and for our culture. We ask and pray these things in your name.
Amen.
Amen. Well, we love y'all. We definitely will be in touch with you guys here soon. Don't go too far, and we look to hear and talk to you guys here very, very soon. All right. Hey, keep a watch out for that conference.
Yeah.
We're gonna put it together. Y'all gonna be one of our guests.
Okay.
All right. Well, we see you guys later.
Yeah.
Um,
No.
Started something. You done started something.
I was shocked that he said. I was like, "What? You want to go on? What? Okay, you going? All right."
All right. Well, we love y'all.
Yeah, we love y'all.
I'll be calling you guys here soon.
Okay,
All right.
sounds good.
All right.
Bye-bye.
All right, you guys. Well, we love you guys. That is the end of our segment
Yes.
with the Jacksons. We really love them, and we really love you guys. We want to give you guys the chance to worship with us in giving this evening. We want to give you guys the ways that you can give to Power Outreach Ministries. I hit the wrong button. Amen. All right. The first way that you can worship with us in giving is our Cash App. Our Cash App is $ Power Outreach KC.
Mhm.
All right. And then what is our second one?
The second one is Givelify, and that's with Power Outreach Ministry, KC.
Yes. And we like I said, we love y'all. We appreciate everybody that's tuned in, everybody that's giving.
Yes.
But we will also want to let you guys know that you guys can be a part.
Yes.
All right. Go follow us on our YouTube page, our Facebook page, our Instagram. Just all these different platforms you can follow us on and share. You can share, you can follow, you subscribe, you can give,
Mhm.
and understand that you'll be not only a blessing to yourself but us as well.
Amen.
So we love y'all,
Love you.
and until next
Hi,
time.
Miss Sharon. We see you on here.
Who else do we see on here?
Miss Sharon,
Brandy,
Brandy, Ava,
Pastor D.
my daddy.
We had Daddy was on there.
Yeah, I think Daddy was on here too.
Oh wow. Well, we almost at that 2-hour mark. We just want to, like I said, we say we love y'all until we see y'all again.
You always hear me every